was listening back probably about 3 months ago, and Robert Kiyosaki was concerned about the real estate portfolio that he had in Portland, Oregon. And one of the biggest reasons was because of the homelessness that's overriding the downtown Portland, Oregon area. I remember 2 years ago going down to downtown Los Angeles, and we had homeless people that were urinating in the streets, and they've literally taken over downtown Los Angeles. And it's a sad but real problem that's happening nationwide. When I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki probably 3 months ago, he and his wife Kim had sold their entire portfolio, and they were absorbently excited because they sold the portfolio for an excess of what they thought they were going to, and at a premium, in spite of what was happening with homelessness down there, and their properties were getting overridden with homeless people. And what's happening now is because of hyperinflation, there's people that live just above the economic cusp where marginal variances in income of $100, $200 a month, they just can't live. Most of those people are employees that are working for minimum wage or just thereover, maybe have kids, and they just can't meet that base threshold to be able to provide housing, automobiles, food, and the essentials. And so there's a lot of homeless people that are on the streets that don't want to be on the streets and are not related to drug use. Now, a lot of homelessness is because of the opioid epidemic, and there's a lot of that, and that's very real and it's very alive. And there's a mix of that with ordinary poverty, homelessness that's happening right here in our own country. So when people say, I want to leave our country and go do charity work, I sit back and go, wow, we have enough problems just right here that we can also indulge ourselves with solutions, nonprofits, and so forth. And so there's a nonprofit organization over in Tucson, and they're building out some micro homes. And what they're doing is they do these pallets stock homes that are modular, prefabricated. They literally bolt four corners together and a rooftop, and in 1 hour they can have the entire structure put together. They have densely pressed insulation, and then they have an air conditioner with heating and cooling on it, so that way they have the essentials that they need with shelving, bedding, and the four walls and a roof. And then they're doing them in these micro home communities that they're putting in dormitory style facilities with community bathrooms. And so how the community bathroom stuff is going to work, we don't know, but still pretty cool. Now, on the contrary, on the other end of this, we go to cities like Seattle, Washington, where there's a lot of influx of economic growth, there's a lot of affluency, a lot of international employees coming in, working in the tech industry, and there's just a need for housing. And so one of the big things in this need for housing is finding places that work for a lot of these people moving in. So the developers are going in and they're doing these micro apartments and these micro homes that are just a few hundred square feet. Some of these micro apartments are as small as 300 square feet, and some of the micro homes are averaging right around 800 square foot of living space. So very small living areas, but still servicing the essentials that people need to keep them off the streets, and a living space that they can respectfully live in places like Tucson. You go into places like Seattle, and they're taking these micro homes and they're selling these things for several hundreds of thousands of dollars. These little $300,000 micro homes for over $180,000 to $300,000 is what the market is bearing for some of these small micro homes in that market. So very affluent for developers. And so the reason I talk about this is for two reasons. One, as an awareness model to people understanding why micro housing is so important, and also for the economic side of growth and income potential for people just like you that are looking at this, that are interested in buying land, building houses, and just giving you guys more information and data for the hyper need of this stuff. So there is a housing project that'll be opening up this November in Tucson, housing about 30 homes, housing expected between 60 and 80 heads, parents, children, that are on the streets currently right now. So a big press, to be able to take a nonprofit organization, have them come in, 30 micro homes, and house just shy of 100 people is impressive, but that's just a small dent in the massive issue that's happening nationwide. So understand that when we talk about there being a real need and a lack of housing, I know that a lot of people sit back and go, okay, well, where are these people living now? There's a mixture economically. And so it's not like there's just your aunts and uncles and friends and family are walking around the streets homeless, but there's truth to it. There are peoples aunts, uncles, mom and dads, brothers and sisters that are walking on the streets homeless. And so there is a need for housing. There's a mass need for housing. So in spite of everything that's going on, yesterday I sat down and I was talking with a colleague that's also interested in investing, but they invest in crypto and other stuff. And they want to get into the real estate market. And they say, well, you know, I just want to see how this is all going to weather out. And I'm going, okay, what are you waiting for? We're weathering it right now, ladies and gentlemen. So we're talking about economic changes. We're talking about recessions. If you guys don't notice what's going on economically right now, it's time for you to wake up and smell the coffee and take the blinders off your eyes because we're living it. It's all around us right now. Inflation is real. Homelessness is going up. The lack of housing and the shortage has been in front of our forefront and in our face for the last 3 years. Very aware, and there's a need for housing. There's a need for more employees to help service this need, and so it's up to you guys. When you guys are watching what we're doing with buying land and building houses, I've been talking about this, and it's up to you guys to come in and say, hey, I want to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. You know, people can go out there, and there's people that are plenty capable of doing what we're talking about, but never get off the sidelines because they're scared. And you're doing yourself our country a disservice. It's time to not be scared, and it's time to put your head down. It's really time to go to work. And so I talk to you guys this out of an area of heart space, sitting back going, look, this isn't just about you, it's about the world. You know, I was told by a mentor years ago, you find a massive problem and you find a solution to that problem, you'll amass a fortune. And ladies and gentlemen, the problem is real. Homelessness is out there, the lack of housing is out there. In spite of economic changes, the housing market's not going down. There's such a need right now, such a need for rooftops. And you come in, and if you just turn on you open up your phone or turn on the 6 o'clock news, which I don't typically do, but how can you not even see it and be aware of it when it's right in your face every time you open Google or any type of server, you know, web server, it's right in front of your face. So ladies and gentlemen, there is a need for buying land, building houses. You want to solve a massive crisis and a massive need for rooftops? Join the movement. Let's build some homes. Let's buy some land, let's build some homes, and let's make some money doing it. And in the process, you're going to be helping our economic growth, people, you're going to be servicing homelessness to some magnitude, and you're going to be making profits doing it. Win-win situation. Ladies and gentlemen, click below, follow our content. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.